Hey everyone, Golden Ninja 3000 here again. Today I'm reviewing the biggest LEGO Harry Potter set of summer 2024. This is 76435 Hogwarts Castle The Great Hall. It's got 1,732 pieces, 11 minifigures, and it retails for $200 in the US. At this point, we've gotten so many LEGO Great Halls, and I do like every single one of them. I really love this one, although it does have a fair number of flaws that I'm looking forward to discussing with you guys. But before we get into the details, I do want to remind everyone that I am an employee of the LEGO Group. However, all opinions expressed in these videos are my own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the LEGO Group, and LEGO is a registered trademark of the LEGO Group of companies, which does not sponsor, authorize, or endorse this site. We'll start with Harry since he is the chosen one after all. This minifigure is good, but it's a pretty basic first-year Harry. I do like the torso, but I can't keep up with if these prints are new or not because they're all just blending together at this point. I know the face print isn't new. He does have a tiny bit of back printing and his typical alternate face. I have to say, though, I get why every Great Hall set is first-year minifigures, but I would really love to see some more grown-up minifigures. Like, I think it'd be pretty cool to get a Great Hall set that's not based on Sorcerer's Stone. Next up, we have Ron. I like that he gets a different torso, but other than that, it's just the same face and hairpiece that we're used to at this point. There's his alternate face. Hermione is a typical first-year version of herself as well. I have her scared face on because there is, of course, a troll in this set. Same torso as Harry, but I do like the triple molded short legs and the little skirt piece. I like that, that's pretty different from, I guess, her original minifigures back in 2018, and there's her alternate face. I also love that in this set we get students from every Hogwarts house. This is Leanne. There's no last name on the box. I have no idea who this is, but I love that Hufflepuff torso. She also has a skirt, and I'm pretty sure that this hairpiece is brand new in black. It was made for Kira in the Solo movie in 2017, and it's been used on Mrs. Weasley, but I don't think we've ever seen it in black, so I think that that's pretty exciting. And she just has the typical child face print, but it's printed onto a warm tan headpiece. At least I think that's warm tan, so I think that's pretty cool. Our Ravenclaw minifigure is Terry Boot. I love his torso. I myself am a Ravenclaw, so I'm partial to this torso. I should make a minifigure of myself at Hogwarts, to be honest. I also like his hairpiece, and again, he just has the typical child face. Our Slytherin student is Daphne Greengrass. I recognize these names, like Terry Boot and Daphne Greengrass, so I think it's cool to be getting such obscure students as official minifigures. She also has the typical child face and the same skirt that the other female students have. Moving on to the professors, this might be the best version we've ever gotten of Dumbledore. I know we have the CMF version, but this is just amazing. He has arm printing in a regular set. I love that so much. It's super detailed. I really love this metallic fine embroidery print all over him. And then he even has the print going down into the back of his robes. You guys know I love back printing on those pieces. I think it just makes them even cooler than they already are. He is using that CMF mold for the hair and hat. There is his alternate face, and then if I just go ahead and pop off his beard, that is what his original face print and the rest of his torso printing looks like. For the first time in 5 or 6 years, we also have a new Professor Quirrell. We haven't seen him since the Great Hall set in 2018 that kicked off the reboot of the theme. I like his torso print, I love that turban mold, and I do like his face print as well. It's suitably nervous. He has a bit of back printing, and then of course the all-important double-sided Voldemort face. I kind of liked the face print from 2018 better. This one has a darker tan background printing that's printed onto the flesh color of the head. I just feel like it looks a little bit strange. But of course, Quirrell was the very first LEGO minifigure in history to have a double-sided face print back in 2001. So I just love that piece of trivia, and I always love seeing the character again for that reason. And speaking of obscure characters, our final professor in this set is Professor Vector. She is the arithmancy teacher, and I love that we're getting such obscure professors, just like how we got Professor Sinistra in the last Great Hall set in 2021. I love the torso and robe print. I really like her face print quite a bit, and she's just using this more cartoony style witch's hat and hairpiece, but it's a great piece. I always love seeing it. This is a new color for it. There is her alternate face, which looks a lot happier, but there's just something about this face print that I think is really great. And again, it's just nice to see such random characters appearing in sets. We also get our third house ghost in this set. This is the Fat Friar Hufflepuff's ghost. I think this figure looks great. It's really nice to see more ghost minifigures. I love the little cup he's holding. The torso and robe printing is fantastic. I do like that face print of his. It makes it look like he's going, ooh, like a ghost. I also like that gray bowl cut piece. I don't know if it's new in that color, but I feel like I haven't seen it before. A little bit of back printing and a slightly nicer alternate face. I really wonder if we're going to see all 4 house ghosts now, because we only have the Bloody Baron left. Whoops, lost his hairpiece. That's Slytherin's ghost, but it seems pretty violent, so I don't know if the LEGO group would include that minifigure in a set. Our final character is not really a minifigure, but he's not exactly a big fig either. This is the troll that entered the girls' bathroom. We haven't seen this character depicted in LEGO form since like 2002, I think. Don't quote me on the dates, I can't remember them exactly, but it's really awesome to see, another molded LEGO creature. He is just using the standard big fig arms and hands, and he does have this brick-built club, which I think looks pretty good. I like the face print, but I do wish that that was a minifigure head, because then maybe it could have been like turnable, and it would have made it a little bit more LEGO-like, because, I don't know, right now he kind of just looks like a thumb to me. I really like the molded clothing, though. I think that that's a really nice detail. I mean, like, it's not flexible at all. I kind of thought maybe it would be rubber, but no, it's hard plastic. There was cloth clothing on the original troll, and when I pulled this out of the bag, I kind of wanted the cloth back, but I like the molded clothing now. And then I do really like the detail in the legs. Again, if I'm nitpicking, them being movable would be great, but I think that that's pretty unnecessary because big figs don't typically have movable legs. I like the wrinkles and like the little bumps, although I do think it's weird to have such detailed legs and then such a smooth like upper body and arms, so it's just a little bit awkward. The Great Hall itself is pretty much a work of art. This is the single largest section of Hogwarts we have ever gotten in a single set at minifigure scale, or, at least a minifigure compatible scale, because this is not true minifigure scale. That would just be absolutely insane. This is also the very first Great Hall at minifigure compatible scale that we've gotten with a rocky base. This is the Hogwarts that I've dreamed of forever, getting like the full cliff base and then the actual Hogwarts, but still combinable across multiple sets. So we'll talk about all of that. Let's go ahead and move into more of a close-up though, so that we can see more detail. So we'll go ahead and start with the cliff base. I've seen people complain about it, saying that it's like very under-detailed and that it's just too simplistic. I don't really feel that way, to be perfectly honest. I like this. I think that it's built up pretty well. Like, yeah, it uses a lot of these singular rock pieces, but I mean, there's plenty of other brick building in there for me. I think it's fine. I do like the little trees that are attached at angles. I think a couple more trees would have been nice. Like, I really would have liked some around the side here. And honestly, you can see a problem with this set that we're going to talk about in a bit, and that's that the interior sections of the cliff base, they just slide out. They never connect in there, and so that's kind of irritating when I'm trying to turn this around on camera right now. But yeah, the one thing I don't like about the rock base is like this weird little gap in the corner. I do not like that. So the place where these two pieces meet, I just feel like that's very sloppy and awkwardly executed. I mean, I understand having gaps in the rock, like that gap is totally cool. It's just that this edge is like way too sharp for me. Like the cliff should be a little bit more natural. And I guess that that's, a complaint that other people have with the cliff side in general. It's just that it's really flat, and I guess it should come out a little bit more, like it should be sloping a little bit more outward. And again, I understand that complaint. It's just not one that I really have. I don't think that this feels too flat. I see how other people think that, but honestly, I think it's fine. It's a playset for children, and it's totally detailed enough to still appeal to an adult collector like me. You'll also have this staircase coming down from the courtyard outside the Great Hall. First time that's ever been done at a minifigure scale, and you can see a couple of clips right here because of course the staircase leads down to the boathouse, because this set does connect to the Hogwarts boathouse that was released in March, and I will take a look at that in a separate video that will come out like next weekend. And then around this side there's just a little bit more rock, some more trees. And yeah, I guess if there's one thing that I would like to improve about this space, I guess I would like it to come out like a tiny bit more. I'd like there to be like a little bit more water at the bottom or something. I think that that would have improved it, but I have bigger complaints with the set than, like the rocks. I'm just happy we're finally getting the rocks at this scale. The cliffs do have a pretty fun play feature as well. So you'll see this little tower outside. This is Filch's office in the movies, I believe, but you also see some hinges because this entire section of the cliff base can just swing open. It's honestly attached a little bit like hard because it clips into a vertical bar. But I love that this is like a hidden entrance into the castle. There's a hidden broomstick, which, again, if you know that this is Filch's office, I feel like that makes sense because maybe he confiscated that from a student. And then inside, I'll just go ahead and zoom in. You can start to see some of the interior details in like the dungeons below the Great Hall. But we're not looking at the interior yet. Let's finish with the exterior of the castle. So I guess because we're at this side of the Great Hall, let's just talk about it. It looks like the Great Hall. This is like a very nice sized build. It is huge compared to a minifigure. I really like the walkway that you have outside of it. That's accurate to the movies, of course. And it's great to see it here because then you really can have minifigures like peering out at the lake over, the cliffs. You do have like the classic windows at the end of the Great Hall, and then there is this little round thing. I don't know if that's supposed to be a round window, but if it is, it doesn't totally work because, there's no opening there, but it's a nice detail nonetheless. And yes, all of the windows are just this like graded black style. That's how they were in 2018 as well. And I mean, it looks fine, but I do wish that some kind of stained glass window had been represented. Again, I feel like the rest of this build is so majestic that these windows just don't really fit to me. Doing brick built stained glass would have been a lot of work, but I don't know, even if like there just could have been a printed window pane that was used like a bunch here, I think that that would have been awesome. Honestly, I kind of want to mock this set. I have like a couple complaints and I just feel like it's making me want to modify it. And so I might do that. I haven't modified a Harry Potter set before, but this might be the first. I like the sticker details on Filch's office because, I mean, I think that that's a nice vine. And then I always like these little random brickwork stickers. I'm sure some people would like complain about those, but I think that they do add personality to the castle. I've liked them ever since I was young. And then moving up, you just have, like the crenellations. The roof is super steep. Again, not really a complaint. It's just like, I feel like it could be angled like back a tiny bit more. But it looks good. There is like a little gap below the main turret, and the shingles of the roof could be a little bit more detailed. This set is in like kind of a weird space where it is detailed, but to me, like I want like a little bit more. Like I definitely don't want 18 plus adult set levels of detailing, but when it comes to stuff like the roof shingles, I feel like it would have been more fun if they were in like a zigzag pattern that wasn't so symmetrical like we've seen in other Great Hall sets in the past. So again, maybe that's something that I'll change. And then one like actual complaint that I have is that the main turret of the Great Hall, it looks okay, but it is way too square. Like this thing is supposed to be just as round as the other turrets. Whoops, I did not mean to break that off. So yeah, to have it be this square and like rectangular, it really doesn't work for me. I think it does kind of throw off the whole look of the top of the Great Hall. It's just not right. And so I wish that, that had been built in a more circular fashion. And I feel like there has to be a way to do that. I don't know. Again, maybe I'll try to modify it. And we are back to the gray roof style for these new Hogwarts sets, but I like that we have little trims of sand green, with these plates and then with those cheese slopes. One of my favorite areas in the set is the courtyard because first time it's being done at minifigure scale, like as part of a big set. We did get it in like the Battle of Hogwarts set last year, but it's so much fun to see it just be part of a bigger Great Hall set. So I really like I like the arched windows and I like the archway into like the structure. I think it's a pretty good size. You can see that the doors back there are kind of opening because they don't really ever want to stay closed. But I guess I should kind of lift up my camera so we can see more inside the courtyard. And maybe I'll try to lift this thing up a little bit. There's a good amount of space in there. I mean, you're going to be able to fit, let me see. Yeah, you can fit like a decent amount of minifigures. I think those are supposed to be like little benches, so that works. And I do like the fallen leaves as well, but I don't know where they came from because there are no trees around here. And then, yeah, the entrance to the Great Hall looks fantastic. The doors themselves are rectangular, of course, but because they're put behind that archway, they look perfectly accurate. And then raising the camera up a bit, you do have this clock piece, and that is printed. That was a really nice surprise. I could have sworn that that was going to be a sticker, but it's a print, and I think it looks great. And then you do have like this roof section, which just has like thin little strips of gray on the sides and looks fantastic. Moving on to the interior, this is what the entire thing looks like. We are, of course, going to go more in depth, starting below the actual Great Hall. I think earlier I said this was our first minifigure compatible Hogwarts with a rock base. I guess that's not really true because we did have a rock base with the 2021 Hogwarts, but that wasn't continued throughout like every set, and I think that this one will be, and it's very different from the old system. This new system does have like kind of a modular aspect to it still, because you can see like 3 different areas below here, and they all do slide out and they can be rearranged. So we have the girls' bathroom where the troll attacks Hermione. We have like a little central section with some wizard portraits, and then we have the Hufflepuff common room. So all of these slide out. They're just attached with rails and a couple of like non-connecting Technic pins, like just to keep them in place. But as you saw earlier, that means that they never stay in place. It's honestly like whenever you turn this and move it, they just slide straight out. I find that very annoying. I think that there should have been some kind of connection at the back, like a loose connection, but maybe like a clip into one of those like click hinge pieces, like that's a loose connection that Lego uses a lot, because having all of these things constantly be sliding around whenever you move the Great Hall, it's just really annoying. But there is a little bit of detail back there. I guess before we get fully into the different sections, you can see there are stickers with columns and torches at the back. So I think that those are pretty nice. And then, of course, that's where the hidden door is that leads outside. So it does seem like there's a good amount of playability, and it's very roomy down here. There's way more room down in like this cliff base than there was in the 2021 system. So starting with the center section, all of these sections kind of fold out like this. You do get collectible wizard portraits in these summer sets, just like we got in a few of the March sets. So these are randomized. I think there's like 15 or 16 different ones to collect, something like that. And I did get like 5 unique ones in this set. So there's 4 here. I don't know who all these characters are, but I think that they are really nice prints. If it'll focus on the actual print, I think that's Jocunda Sykes. I think she's a Quidditch player. I don't know. That's who comes to mind when I see that. I don't know who that is, but it's a cool print. I like this guy holding the owl. And then I also really like this print. Again, I don't know what character that is, but I would love to get that as a real minifigure. As I mentioned, the left section is the girls' bathroom. At least I think it was the girls' bathroom that Hermione was attacked in, right? That would make sense. So this one folds out just like this. There are stickers on the sinks, so those are like actual reflective pieces. That's nice. There is one complete sink, and then there is one destroyed sink with a bunch of spilled water, which I think is a really nice effect, and obviously the troll did that. You also have a little bathroom stall, and you can break off the walls as if the troll is attacking, so that's cool. I'm going to just bring the troll in here so you can kind of, even if it's folded up, you can have the troll come in and just be like smashing this thing around, and so I think that's a lot of fun. The center of the floor is very open, which feels a little bit awkward, but it's so that the troll has room to actually stand in here, and the troll can actually stand in here. Even when this goes into the Great Hall, there's plenty of room in the cliff base for the troll to stand there, and so I love that. Honestly, it seems like the cliff base was designed to be just the right height for the troll, and so I'm really glad that that was taken into account, because you can just have so many fun displays with that like level of room inside the cliffs. The second area is the interior of the Hufflepuff common room. There is another printed wizard portrait up there. I don't know who that is, but it kind of looks like Slytherin to me. He looks evil, so it's kind of weird that he's hanging up in the Hufflepuff common room. But I really like this area too. You have a fireplace. It's very earthy, as you would expect for Hufflepuff. You've got plants growing all around. I love like their color scheme on the rug. There's a little cupcake or something here, a goblet, a couch that can fit 2 people. I love that it's built with minifigure chairs. And then there is this little stickered 2x2 tile here. Seems like someone's studying herbology. Can't quite make out the words on there though. And let me find Leanne, the mysterious Leanne. I mean, it's cool. She doesn't have anyone to hang out with in there, but it is a nice little area. But Now we're going to get to a complaint of mine. Both of these sections feel extremely unfinished. Like, they obviously don't have walls. The Hufflepuff common room area in particular, I'm just like, what's going on here? These things do add playability, and I think that they will be a lot of fun for kids, but they feel almost like afterthoughts to me, you know? They feel like there wasn't the parts budget to really like build anything proper to put underneath the castle, so they just did whatever they could, like using the fewest amount of pieces possible. And I think that's okay because it does add playability, but it feels so unfinished compared to the rest of the set, which is finished off so nicely. I mean, the girls' bathroom doesn't even have two stalls. Like, two stalls definitely would have fit, you know, like have this one be a little bit larger, but I mean, then put a smaller one and don't make this centered. It doesn't make much sense to me, especially when you compare these sets to the potions class, which is a separate set that sells for, I think, almost $40. I will be doing a separate review on this, but this set also folds up and then slides into the base of the Great Hall just like that, and it's still accessible. I mean, I'll also take a closer look at this in my Hogwarts video, but look at how nice that is. You know, like that's a complete room. These things, again, they just feel like afterthoughts. I honestly think it would have been better to put like the parts budget for both of these into making one nice build that was like the same size as the potions classroom, and then just leaving that side empty and telling people to buy the potions classroom to put in there. Because after I put the potions class in there, what's going to happen to the Hufflepuff common room? It's probably going to get scrapped for parts because it's not really a good build. Moving up into the actual Great Hall, this is definitely the most majestic one we've ever gotten. It is so tall. I really feel like you feel the full effect of the hall that you do in like the books and the movies because it's just so huge compared to all of like the minifigures. So that's awesome. You do have the tables in the center, and I do have a couple of complaints here as well. There's only two tables, there's not four tables. I really feel like in a great hall of this size, there was room for like four smaller tables to actually have like all four of the houses sit separately. I also don't like the food. I think that this set is super lame on the food. Like there's just leaves and like again like cupcakes. I don't get it. Like I guess it's dessert time at the feast, but it's a feast. There should be a lot of different food. Something that I loved about my Hogwarts Castle set that I got when I was 9 years old in 2010. It had so much food. Like it had like one of the big Lego like chicken or turkey pieces, and that was like the first time I had ever seen it, and it was just amazing to me. In this set, all you get are cupcakes, leaves, and then like one little like chicken drumstick. That's boring in my opinion. I like all the goblets, that's great, but I mean, there needed to be way more variety of food in here because that would make playing with it a lot more fun. And I really am trying to think of all of these critiques from like a kid's perspective because I am an adult collector, but I just remember how much I loved my Hogwarts Castle set when I was 9, and so I'm trying to approach it from, what did I love about that set that's missing in this one, or what does this one have that I would have really loved back then? You do have all four house banners on the wall. They aren't actual banner pieces like they were in the 2010 set. They're just 2x6 tiles. I think they still look good. I mean, actual banner pieces would have been cool, but I guess there's not like a great place to hang them. And all of the stickers look good. I don't know why Slytherin is there though, because the order of the houses is Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw, Slytherin. So I'm going to swap those. That's when I started thinking about modifying the set. And actually, another modification I want to make, the teacher's table. The teacher's table is supposed to be raised up above the rest of the students. Again, there's plenty of space to raise it up here. I don't know why it wasn't. It seems like, again, like an oversight. So I will be raising it up. And another complaint I have, no chairs. There are no chairs anywhere in this hall. I don't like that. Again, it makes it feel unfinished. At least the students have jumpers to stand on, but the teachers are just standing on the floor. Give them some chairs. Like, come on. So I'll definitely be adding chairs into my display. Like, the kids can still sit at the table. You do kind of have to, like, raise their wand arms. But I feel like chairs just help the playability, even though like they can't sit with their short legs, putting them on chairs and seeing chairs in the hall, I think is better than just seeing kind of a bare floor. And there are some details missing from here, like there's supposed to be like a big fireplace on the side of the Great Hall. That doesn't bother me too much. You know, the Great Hall interior has not been consistent across the Lego sets, and as long as you have the tables and like the house banners and stuff, I think it's fine. But this set does have something that no other Great Hall set has done, and that is the enchanted roof. This looks absolutely incredible. This is a fantastic design on behalf of whoever designed this. There are dark blue plates used at the back, and they're pretty much all dark blue, so I think that that's fantastic. So that makes it look like the night sky. Then you have these candles floating on clear pieces. I'm very glad that they're clear, and you can kind of angle them a little bit. They're just clear 1x2 clips. So they look really good. They look like they're floating. I'm very impressed with it. And then you also have the moon, which is just a 2x2 boat stud, and then you have clouds. And the clouds, I forgot to mention, can be angled, so you can actually like make this look even a little bit more alive and add like a little bit of movement in there by angling the clouds in different directions. So that is really cool, and that is, you know, like a great touch in a Great Hall set of this size, because there's never been room to do that in any of the other sets because the roof was always way closer to the minifigures. And finally, the last little hidden detail in the set is all the way at the top. You do have a sticker with the Hogwarts crest on it, and then you have the Sorcerer's or Philosopher's Stone hidden in the very tallest turret. Here are the extra parts for this set. For some reason, we've been getting extra window panes. I don't know what that's all about, but there are a ton of extra wands, and that's always great to see. And shockingly, there were not a ton of stickers for a $200 set. I think that all of them added some great detail, and none of them were too hard to apply except the ones on the inside of those like 1x6x5 panels in the dungeons. The box for this set is very large. Unfortunately, mine came with some damage from Lego.com, which sucks because I keep all these boxes, but I mean, I've seen worse. And it's very big, so turning it around is kind of a struggle, but you can see the minifigures on top. And then at the back, you have all of the play features and an ad for the collectible portraits and the connection to the boathouse. I do not like the instruction manuals for this set because there's like 5 of them. I just think it's really overkill. I guess, you know, they're designed so that a family can build the set together. So from that perspective, it's nice. As someone that doesn't build my Lego sets with people, including when I was a child, it wouldn't really help me. So, you know, that's a personal bias there. But at the back, you do have an ad for the other Hogwarts sets, but for some reason, there's no checklist for the minifigure portraits the way that there was in the March set. So that's kind of weird, because I'd like to know who's on my portraits. In the end, I do love this set. It was a fantastic build. I had a blast putting it together. And again, if I was a kid, this would be like the ultimate Lego Harry Potter set. I do think that there were ways to make it even better. Like, to me, this set is maybe like an 8.5 out of 10. But I feel like a lot of Lego sets, it was so close to being a 10 out of 10. The stuff like the interior spaces below the cliffs, I'm not sure that really matters. I do think what's there is okay for playability. It does feel, like I said, a little bit unfinished. But I'm assuming we're going to get another set like the Potions Classroom next year that's going to slide underneath as well. So to me, like, I see those sections more as temporary placeholders, you know, from like an adult side. And like I said before, just good little playthings for kids. I do think the interior of the actual Great Hall needed some work. 4 separate tables, there was room for that. The teacher's podium should be raised. There should be chairs for everyone. And there needs to be more food. I guess it's interesting that they're doing dessert in this set instead of like a main course like it's been in every other set. But I mean, come on, you know, like put in some bread, put in some pretzels, put in like more chicken legs, put in like the whole chicken piece that I was talking about. There could have been, like, I feel like a lot more little touches in the Great Hall interior itself that would have made it perfect. I also think there's not enough minifigures. This is a $200 set, and yes, 11 minifigures is a great amount, but that's the amount we got in $100 and $130 Great Hall sets. Granted, this one has the troll. The troll is counting as one of those minifigures, and it's a lot more impressive than a regular minifigure. But just look at how empty the hall looks. Like, I have every regular minifigure in there, and the entire Great Hall just feels very empty to me. I would have loved at least 2 more student minifigures. And keeping in mind that this is a $200 set, there has never been a $200 minifigure compatible Hogwarts set before. Think about how many kids will be getting this one versus a $100 one. It's going to be less kids. Like, if a kid is going to get this set, it might be the only Lego set they get all year because it's so expensive. And you're still missing some key characters. Like, I definitely would have thrown Malfoy and Neville in here. That way, kids would have had more main characters and they would definitely, like, pad out the Great Hall a bit more. And then from a nitpicky side, I would really like a clear support so that the Fat Friar could be flying above the Great Hall, because right now, he can only just stand right there. So it would have been great if you could like actually have him flying through like one of the candles. But I think the real problems with this set are just, the interior of the hall. I do think this set is worth $200. I think it's great. No Lego set is going to be perfect, or at least very few of them are going to be perfect, especially in the eyes of an AFOL like myself. But this is such a great playset for kids. I wish that I had gotten this when I was 9. That would have just blown my mind. So there's something about it that I really love. I feel like I did complain a fair amount in this review, but I just when I look at it, I just love it so much. It is like one of the ultimate Harry Potter sets to me. I love Lego Harry Potter so much, and this set does have, like all of the good of the theme and I guess a little bit of the bad of the theme, in the sense that it does cut like a couple of corners, but let's be honest, the corners cut in Harry Potter are way less than the corners cut in my other favorite Lego theme, Marvel Superheroes. So it's really not that big of a deal. I do think those things should have been improved, but they're not making the set like bad. They're just making it not as good as it could have been. That's it for today, though. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and let me know what you guys think about this set in the comments below. Don't forget to check out my website, goldenninja3000.com as well, and I'll see you guys with more LEGO Harry Potter videos soon. Bye for now.